Good afternoon, or actually good morning, everyone. This is Rob Orson with the Emerging Revolutionary War. I'm here with Mark Malloy. Those who have been following us for the past few months, we've been talking about Patriots Day weekend, talking about the 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord, or the Lexington Alarm, as they would have called it. Right now, we're in Acton, Massachusetts. We thought this would be a great spot for our very first meal of the weekend. We're not smoking, we're not drinking yet, so we should be pretty cognizant of what's going on. Can't promise you if you watch us at 2 a.m. this morning, if you follow Paul Revere, we'll be okay, but we're starting off pretty good, pretty solid. What we're going to do is we're going to walk you over to this monument behind us, and Mark's going to talk about some of the men who are buried here that were killed and impacted by the events of April 19, 1775. Really, 50 years ago tomorrow, actually right now in Boston, 50 years ago, Lauren will be starting to get information about Gage's plans. We're going to start putting things in motion. Thankfully, it's going to take off pretty quick here. We're going to try to keep you up with as many of those as we can as we go out throughout the day and night. But Mark, talk a little bit about who's buried here and some of the things that did on April 19th.
Yeah, so when we were coming up here, this is my first time being here to the town green in Acton, Massachusetts. We're about 5 miles west of Concord, and it was here in the early morning hours of April 19, 1775 that the Minutemen Company from Acton is going to muster and march to go engage in the Battle of Concord later that morning. And some of the men from Acton who died that day, there are 3 of them that are now buried actually inside of this obelisk that was built in the 19th century. And actually, if you want to follow me over this way, I'll show you some of the neat things, because the men who are buried here, they were killed on April 19th. And originally they were buried in a cemetery, and in the 19th century they didn't think that they wanted to do something that was more fitting for their sacrifice, so they moved them, these 3 individuals, and they brought them into this large monument. But if you look around the base over here, you will see the original tombstones for 3 of those men. Now these 3 men, one of the most prominent men was the captain of the Acton Minutemen, and his name was Captain Isaac Davis. And he was with the men overlooking the North Bridge, and when they saw the flames coming up from Concord, somebody said, well, are you going to let them burn the town down? And then they decide they're gonna march down to the North Bridge. Davis supposedly said, there's not a man in my company afraid to go. And as they're marching towards the North Bridge, playing the White Cockade, the British fire a volley over their heads. They continue to march forward. The British then fire into them, and in that second volley they fire, a musket ball is actually going to hit Davis in the chest, killing him instantly, splattering his blood on the men around him. And a private, Abner Hosmer, is also going to be hit in the head, and he dies instantly as well. Those 2 men are now buried up here. And actually, if you want to come over this way, I'll show you. You can actually still see, interestingly, rather than being buried underneath of the monument, Billy, you can actually show up in the obelisk. You'll see a door that leads to a mausoleum where their remains actually lie today. But I also want to show you one other thing, because I said there are 3 men buried here. The 3rd man, his name was Private James Hayward, and his story is really interesting, and it's actually related on his tombstone. And if you come over this way, you can see one over here. And James Hayward, his story is really interesting, because during the fighting along the battle road, Hayward actually comes up. You can see his tombstone right over here. And he's the one who's at the well of the Fisk House along the battle road. And he was going to go get a drink of water from the well. At the same time, a British soldier is standing there. They both raise their muskets at each other, fire at the same time. After the British soldier says, "You're a dead man," Hayward said, "So are you." They both fire at the same time. The British soldier is shot and killed instantly. Hayward gets shot in his powder horn, sending some of the splinters into his side. mortally wounding him, and he dies there. So the two of them, both British soldier and Hayward, are killed. And that story is related on his tombstone, talking about how both his blood and his foe's blood bled on the ground there during the fighting on April 19th. But this is a really neat site today, so definitely recommend if you ever get over here. Now tomorrow there is an annual tradition of the Acton Minutemen Recreated mustering here and doing the march over to Concord and Northbridge. But it's a great site to remember some of those heroes who spilt their blood almost exactly 250 years ago, April 19th, 1775. But thanks for tuning in and stay with us. We're going to be going to different sites later today.